I am excited to talk about this topic, the topic of marketing, because it is one that I forget so many people struggle when it comes to marketing. It's one of my favorite things, which is why I do what I do. And I think when you do what you do, you forget that other people don't find that so easy, right? Like if you're a really good cook, you forget some people don't love cooking or they don't know how to cook. Or if you're really good at makeup, you forget that other people they struggle with like what products to use and how to use them. Like your zone of genius, we typically take for granted, and we forget that like our gifts and our talents can be absolutely maximized in this world. And so I am just so excited to provide this episode to you because I love marketing. I've always loved marketing, and we get to make it feel so much easier for you and it to be so much more simplified. It does not have to be complicated. We typically overcomplicate so many things in this world as humans. It's just who we are and what we do. And marketing is absolutely important because you have gifts and talents that the world needs to know about. And the more we can get the word out, the more you can serve and the more money you can make. And they do get to go hand in hand. They're both so important. I want to give a episode shout out today of who is sponsoring today's episode. So Rebecca with Blue Dot Marketing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. She's got an amazing planning sheet for you all around marketing and a blog episode or a blog article that you can read in the link wherever you are watching or listening. And totally grab it. She's been one of my clients for a very long time and just so proud of her and what she's been able to accomplish. And she also loves marketing. So grab those planning sheets. You will not be disappointed. So let's talk about marketing. Okay. So we've got to simplify it. And there's 3 big categories that we get to focus on. And I feel a sneeze coming. Dang it. Don't you love that when you're like, you feel the sneeze happening and you're like, the sneeze is happening. So we absolutely want to understand what is your strategy. We need to come to social media, especially social media, around marketing and have a strategy in place that is measurable. It can't just be to post to post. We need to be able to look at every single piece of your content and say, did it accomplish what you wanted it to accomplish? And if we don't have that in place, if we don't know what that is ahead of time, it makes it really hard to understand, is your marketing doing what it needs to do? Long gone are the days of just counting views, just counting likes and comments. Like, I don't even think that should have ever been a thing, but it is so much more important to measure the conversion on what your marketing is doing. Meaning, did it drive traffic to a freebie? Did it drive traffic to a sales page? Did it drive engagement, right? Like, you need to decide what the marketing strategy is for every piece of content that you're putting out. So that way, once we put out your content and go back to analyze it, we can really quickly, easily say, did it accomplish what it needed to accomplish? This is the biggest gap that I see in the online space. People are posting just to post. There is not niche specific content. It is all over the place. There are not calls to action. If there's not calls to action, it makes it really hard to measure, did it do what it needed to do? You can literally have the most juicy piece of content, and without a call to action, it will fall short of the highest potential for that piece of content. So we really want to understand and get super, super dialed in and clear on what is your strategy. You should always be generating leads, even if you are not in growth mode or launch mode. I really do believe everyone should always be generating leads and interest and connections, because we cannot control when all of those things come to fruition. So you actually being proactive is one of the best things that you can do. So you're never in scarcity mode. You're never in frantic mode. You're never freaking out, because past you was always generating buzz and excitement and lead generation and connections and networking, and you just continued and continued and continued even when you didn't need them. So we never need them. We want them, we desire them. And equally, it's such a good way to continue momentum in your business. Your email list should be growing every single day. Like every single day. It should be growing every single day. This is a measurable, this is a KPI, a performance indicator. I know, so fancy, but a KPI. This is a key performance indicator in my business every single day. This is driving my business every single day, meaning what was the amount of people that opted into our ebook, and did we beat our score from the day before? What marketing assets are performing the highest? Can we put more ad money behind them? Can we try a new strategy? Is there a trending audio that we can get behind to get more exposure? Are there people that want to share our ebook, right, in exchange for a sponsorship, right, of some sort? So it's like really looking at how are we growing our email list every single day. This is a very big thing that I think people do not take seriously, and then we're left to the algorithm of social media, and that is very, very tricky unless you're spending a lot of money on ads, which if you're spending a lot of money on ads, we should still be getting people to your email list. So this is something that you get to take more seriously. Like, I'm just gonna be loving, and I wish somebody would have told it to me over and over and over until I was like, okay, you're right, because it has drastically changed everything in my business, and it's huge. Now, you can't just grow your email list, you gotta nurture your email list. So that means we need email sequences. We need to be sending emails to your list. So email sequences are different than sending email broadcasts. So email sequences would be them going into a workflow. And if I'm getting too complex, just let me know. I try to always keep things very simplified, but an email sequence would be already set up for you ahead of time. And the goal would be that there would be some sort of conversion from there, right? Because you're not a nonprofit. You do need to make money. So when somebody gets on your email list with a free gift, that email sequence that was already created ahead of time, the goal is then it motivates somebody, the right person, to be able to take the next step in your business journey, your transformation journey. Now, will everyone do it immediately? No, that's not how this works, right? But people need to hear things a million times. And so you having an email list, you growing an email list is actually one of the best things that you can do, because we are guaranteed that it's going to go to every single email inbox. When you put out a social media post, especially organically, it's going to about 2% of your audience, and you're competing with so many people that even if one of the people in the 2% see your piece of content, it's an even smaller percentage of them doing something with it, right? And this is where so many business owners are getting in their own head, because they're like, oh my gosh, I suck. I need to quit being a business owner. No one wants to buy my stuff. Maybe I'm not cut out for this. And I'm like, no, that's not true. There are billions of people on social media, and we just need a very small percentage of them to get to your email list for you to have a thriving business. I am so proud. I've never gone viral. I've never had a huge following. And so I am I hope I am evidence that you can build a beautiful, sustaining, impactful business with a small and mighty following. And when I say small, I don't mean that in a bad way, but relatively compared to other people in my space. I've never hustled or chased vanity metrics. I've caught myself a few times because I'm human. I'm like, oh my gosh, I want 10,000 followers. I'm like, okay, I would rather have 10,000 email subscribers, right? I have to catch myself. I'm going to be honest there. I have to catch myself at times. But we need a strategy on social media. Too often people are like, well, I need to be more consistent. I'm like, well, what does that even mean? You could do one bomb like Facebook Live a week or Instagram Live once a week and generate all the leads that you need, right? And that would mean that you're consistent, right? Or you would post 3 times a day and that would mean that you're consistent. So it's not just consistency. We've got to define what consistency even is. And most importantly, we've got to drive traffic to your email list and have your email list set up for success. This is exactly what I teach in passive income school and help them do it. That's how important it is. You've got to make the time for this. And it doesn't have to be hard. Like literally, you can get your email list, your ebook, your email sequence, you can get everything set up in a weekend. Like I really do believe that because I've done it. So we don't need to overcomplicate it. You can always tweak and modify all of these pieces and parts, but get them up and running. Allow them to start working for you. Decide how often you're posting on social and what is the goal for every piece of content. We fall into the trap of social media of, well, I'm going to just connect with people. And that is there's a big difference between being like connecting with people as a human and being a marketer. And I believe you can do both of them in a way that feels good, but too often entrepreneurs are just focused on, well, like I want to be relatable and I want to connect and I want to ask, fun, frilly, fluffy questions. But that's not driving your bottom line. And if you are coming on social to be an entrepreneur, if you're calling yourself an entrepreneur, if you have opened up a business, you do have a duty and an obligation to get the word out and be super, super clear to a very specific type of person of, hello, I have what you need and I'm not afraid to say it. And here's the next step. And wouldn't you know it, it's a free step, right? I love a free step being the first thing because people live a very busy, fast-paced life. And so if they're at all interested, when they see that free step, like an ebook, they're like, oh, I want that, right? And then it drives traffic to your email list and there's very little decision fatigue. They don't need to go check their budget. They don't need to go ask their partner. They don't need to think about, well, do I want this? Do I have the time for it, right? They see that they're interested in what you have to offer, and so they want to take the next step. So to me, that is a qualified lead. When your ebook is directly tied to what your offers help accomplish for a very specific type of person, when someone raises their hand saying, I want that, that is a qualified lead because it's all connected. Now, when somebody is liking and commenting on your content, even your business content, not necessarily a qualified lead. They're not, unless they are raising their hand on a piece of content saying, please send me information, they're not a qualified lead. And therefore, you are friend zoning your gifts and your talents. And it's actually a disservice to everyone. It's a disservice to people that you can serve and support. And it's a disservice to you, your intellectual property, your future wealthy self, your legacy, right? Like we've got to start looking at all of this so different. I really want women to leave I don't want to be salesy in 2023. Like, can we just put that to rest, please? Because it does not have to be in an icky, slimy, unethical way. And also, you get to take bold, courageous action. You get to be loud and proud, and you can do it in a way that feels fun and good and exciting, but we've got to be louder than the noise. There is so much noise on social media, and you've got to break through that noise so you can go help more people. And when you start to look at your business as a mission-driven business, you'll start to look at it very differently. If you don't know the beginning of my career, I built a nonprofit organization from the ground up at 16 years old. I literally pulled money out of my personal savings to make it happen. I got so many sponsors along the way, donations, a free car, a free venue. Like, it was a wild ride for 10 years. And it was such a mission-driven organization, obviously it is a 501c3 for pediatric cancer families. And so it's so important to take that energy even into a business. Yes, am I here to make a profit? Yes, and also it can be such a mission-driven company that it almost feels like a nonprofit without being a nonprofit. And I really believe that's being a heart-centered marketer. It's being willing to be bold and courageous and follow up with people and do pieces of content like this to serve and support, regardless if you ever spend money with me. And I can end this episode and be so proud that hopefully it resonated with one human and they take that information and it helps them make money. I'm not asking for anything in return. That feels incredible to me. I am a servant leader at my core. And there's obviously like boundaries with that and making sure that I am still operating as a business, right? Because we do need to make money. There are expenses. And so I just want you to look at your business from an energetic lens of serving and supporting, because I was so bold and courageous in the nonprofit organization because literally children depended on me. Like it was a lot of pressure. I'm not going to lie. When you have moms, I wasn't a mom at the time, but when you have moms reaching out to you, because we serve and support families with pediatric cancer emotionally and financially. And so young me, when I have moms reaching out to me saying, I haven't been able to work because my kid's in chemotherapy and our mortgage is due. I'm like, all right, let me get to work. Like I took it so seriously because there was so much on the line. And for every time that I was able to drive to a family's home with a check, felt so good. Like I'm not even gonna lie. Like I felt so proud that I was able to create something like that and it's still sustaining. And it's because it's a mission-driven organization. Like it was so much about the other people. I would post on social media and ask for support and send sponsor letters and be in front of people and speak and share my heart for the kids. And so it's much harder to do that for yourself, right? Like it's so much easier to like hype up somebody else. And so we can still do it for you. Like we get to do it for you. You owe it to yourself. You deserve it. Like it's one of the highest forms of self-love that you can do, is being a badass entrepreneur that is bold and courageous. Like take that energy with you. And like what I love to look at from a marketing perspective on social media is I can literally do it in pockets of time that work for me and my family and my energy. Like there was a period of time where women before us couldn't do that. Like when social media wasn't a thing, you had to do cold calls. You had to go door to door. You had to mail things in the snail mail, right? Like it was so different, or go to a bunch of networking meetings, right? And so us having social media has changed everything, and we get to lean into that and we get to love it. And you measuring every piece of content and having strategy around it and building your email list every single day is one of the best things that you can do. And if you struggle with those things, that's exactly what we help you do in Passive Income School. If you have not heard about Passive Income School, it is our most affordable, amazing space to help you build passive income streams and market them and automate them. So we're helping you from start to finish. It is a group program. It is an on-demand program with a live feature every single month. And you can ask your questions 24/7 to me in the group, and I'll answer every single question. So I just wanted to change your perspective on marketing and get your wheels turning, because this gets to be easier. Okay?
Mommy.
What's happening?
I think Daddy said, but
Bubba?
Bubba thinks Bubba's crying.
Okay, that is my cue. All right, can you sign off and say have a good, say bye. Say go make lots of money. Say go make lots of money.
Make a lot of money.
Yes, we believe in you. Much love.